Good afternoon, fitness fam. Today I'll be talking about how you can properly warm up before your workouts. A lot of times in the personal training slash fitness scene, a lot of people come into the gym and they begin to go through these workouts but they don't know how to properly warm up and get their bodies primed and ready for the bouts of exercises that they will be doing. Now, this is very important, especially for my older people, as the body gets, older, the tissue becomes more stiff and it becomes harder for us to just go from 0 to 100. So in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine that essentially we're revving an engine. If you clicked on a Tesla and you just slam your foot on the gas pedal, it might be able to get to 0 to 60 pretty fast. But if you turned on a 1985, Ford truck, it's going to take a second to turn on. And then if you slam your foot on that gas pedal, the engine might clog, it might click off. So essentially, I want you to treat your body the exact same way. Now, me personally, over my years of training, I've come up with my own method of warming up, but depending on specifically what you are doing for your workout, that's really how you should go about it. So there's a couple principles I want you guys to keep in mind, when you're warming up. One, specificity. It's a principle. Your warm-up should consist of movements that are specific to the exercises or type of training that you'll be doing during that session. So for example, if you're going to be focusing more so on the lower body, and let's say you're a basketball player and you're working on lower body explosiveness, and you come into the gym for a training session, and you're going to do some strength and conditioning, but a little bit of plyometric training as well. So your warm-up should consist of priming the lower body in such a way that it will then aid you in the exercises you'll be doing. Next is individualization. So a lot of people, they'll see programs where coaches will give people the exact same exercises or type of warm-up. No, we are all unique, and we all have our special set of circumstances. I might not be as tight as Jeff, and Bob might be more mobile than Susie. So essentially, you can't give Bob and Susie the exact same thing. In the beginning, yeah, you can give them both cookie cutter things. But as you begin to advance, the things need to be more individualized, because people have more needs than just, kind of a set in a box type of thing. So once you have the specificity and individualization, then this is exactly how you go about it. I personally say you want to have a body warming period. Now, what you want to do is you want to relax the muscle tissue. A lot of times people go into the gym, their muscles are tight and they're stiff. Most of the times we haven't drank water, we haven't really done any movements throughout the day, unless you had like a labor job. If you have a labor job or a job that requires you to move for long periods of time, this is a little bit different. But if you're just coming from, like a desk job, or let's say you were just at home chilling and then you go into the gym, you need to go through a body warming phase. Now, all this is we're going to elevate your heart rate to such a point where the blood begins to pump at a higher rate throughout the body. Now, once this happens, the muscle tissue should relax. You can do this in a couple of ways. You can do a dynamic warm-up. You can do you can hop on the bike and do kind of a static kind of warm-up, or you can do a light jog. You can just start with HIIT. I've seen people, you could, whatever elevates their heart rate and get your body to begin relaxed. That's what I do. Then after that, now, this is going to be a little controversial, but I believe if you're younger, you don't need to go through this. But if you're older, you do. Because as we get older, the tendons and ligaments around our joints, the muscles are a lot stiffer. So we can't, even the body warming phase isn't going to be enough for us. Now this phase, I call this the dynamic joint mobilization phase, where you take the specific joints that you're going to be using throughout the bout of exercise. You're going to take them to in range so that the body begins to connect. Like, oh, okay, for example, let's say you're going to be squatting today. We'll stay with the basketball player analogy. Let's say you're going to be squatting today and, you know, you're going to be doing box squats. You want to take the body, the hips to in range. You want to take the knee to in range. You want to take the ankle joint to in range. And you want to take it through articulations. You want to take it through mobilizations. Why? Because now you're seeing a neurological connection from that part of the body to the brain and to the rest of the body. Like, oh, this is what we're doing today. Let's get ready. After you do that, also will help loosen the tendons and ligaments. After that, you want to go through a muscle activation phase. Now, the difference between a joint mobilization phase and a muscle activation phase is during the joint mobilization phase, all you're doing is you're taking the joints to in range, or you're taking them through, you know, a certain articulation. If you're doing a muscle activation phase, that's when you're more so focusing on just warming up the prime mover muscles. You're just getting, you know, them to begin to fire just a little bit. This is when you'll do like light air squats, you'll do some RDLs, you'll do some glute bridges, something along those lines to get you set up in the muscles ready for the more intensive training. Now, after you do the warm-up, after you do the first phase of the warm-up, body warming, and then you do the joint mobilization phase, and then you do the muscle activation phase, then you can then go into your first period of training. A lot of people, I get a lot of comments from people, especially older guys, where they don't, their bodies are hurting, they're having a lot of back pain, knee pain, and, you know, they'll work with trainers of these programs, and the programs don't have warm-ups. Throughout my experience in, you know, powerlifting, football, without a solid, you know, warm-up, you're setting your body up to get injured, because the body isn't primed, the body isn't ready to engage in those high-level movements. So hopefully, you know, someone found this of value. Hopefully someone found this helpful. If this was helpful for you, click like, click subscribe, click that notification button. If you want more content like this, check out my Instagram, check out my other social media platforms. If you need any other help, I do online coaching. Stay blessed, and peace and love.